Hello, and I'm back. I'm so back. Getting back on this. Changing. It's getting warmer out there. Anyway, I wanted to get back to my mother's diary number. My mom's diary number. Number 14 this is going to be. So, here we go. Hello. Morning. Alright. Good time watching the dark clouds above the lake. Also the red of sun setting trying to shine through. Rained a little and there was a partial mini bow. Partial mini bow. No, a partial rainbow. It's weird. Later, when sleeping, I awoke to see the sky full of stars. Big Dipper over lake. I'll never forget this beautiful spot. Sunday, 8/22/93. Awoke at 7:30 to fog covering lake. Left campground at 9:30 mountain. At White Bird below. Grangeville, we went back to Pacific time. Confusing. Traveled up Route 55 through mountains to McCall, where we found an inexpensive grocery store and picked up a few groceries. Bill was pleased they had a bakery. Stopped later for coffee and buns at beautiful rest stop. We were going through cattle country. Lots of cattle. Came through a long canyon next to Salmon River. Beautiful. After canyon, up a mountain with brown fields below. Next we went over Whitebird Hill, 4,425 feet. Down a little and leveled off. Still high elevation. Large, flat area with many fields and mountains around. Black soil. When we got to Grangeville, we got into wheat fields. Fields were not cut. Large grain elevators at Grangeville. Flat fields to Craigmont, and then rolling hills with wheat fields everywhere. Finally saw combines waiting to cut. Down through another canyon with brown hills on each side, along Clearwater River, on into Lewiston. There we went up steep mountain called Lewiston Hill, 2,726 feet. The land then leveled off and there were beautiful rolling hills and wheat everywhere. We saw combines at work. We saw some land not tilled. Wondered if that was soil bank land. Farmers paid for not planting. Soon we came to lots of trees and forest. We got a campground at Hayburn State Park. Can't see lake from sight, but nice park with lots of trees. I took a walk to lake. Beautiful. Bill and I played cards again. He won again. Today is Greg's birthday, 43. We left camp at 8 p.m. Pacific. 8/23/93. Drove up 95 from Plummer. There was forest a few miles, and then more wheat fields, then trees with wheat fields through the Indian reservations, then forest and ranches, downhill to Coeur d'Alene Lake and town. Large, beautiful resort town. Went on into Hayden. Then we came to a large valley between mountains. Little farming with mostly forest. Large lake at Sandpoint. After that, forest, lakes, and occasional ranches. Ranching around Bonner's Ferry. We picked up Route 2 at Bonner's Ferry, traveled east from there on, stopped at May Bridge and Dam overlook into Montana. The bridge hovers between canyon. Wall suspended 450 feet over white water and is 1,220 feet long. Beautiful sight down to river and dam. Dam is higher than Niagara. We saw a farm family there from above Harrisburg. Had a nice chat with them. He said he was in New Hope 2 weeks ago. Also met a young girl from New Jersey. She was so excited to see a Jersey license. She is looking around for a quiet place to buy. About 20 acres in Idaho, or took Route 2 on to Columbia Falls. The scenery was breathtaking. Through forest and along many lakes, some ranches but few. Stopped for lunch by Untouched Lake. We got a campsite at LaSalle RV Park. Nice park. We took a dry site. After supper, Bill smelled propane gas and we discovered we're out. The refrigerator wouldn't run on battery for some reason. No refrigerator. Put blue ice in there and hope all will keep okay until we get gas. When I got to camp, I did 2 loads of laundry. Tomorrow, we head for West Glacier. We hope to be able to get a bus ride. 8/24/93. We left about 8 a.m., asked at office about propane. It was a couple of miles west. Cheap, too. Finally on our way. Drove along river toward West Glacier. Stopped and had breakfast overlooking river. Beautiful area. Got to entrance to Glacier National Park and we were told we could drive our motor home on going to the Sun Road, which goes west to east through the park. There is size restrictions for trailers and motorhomes. Nothing over 24 foot, and we are 23 feet, so we decided to ditch bus idea and drive. The road is narrow and windy, crooked, but not too steep. We were so glad we decided to travel that road. It is beautiful scenery. Logan Pass at top is 6,640 feet. It was cold and windy up there. Also, little hail. Then we got out of Glacier Park. Road was 51 miles. We traveled down 89, stopped at St. Mary's gift shop for postcards. We took Route 2 east through prairies and then wheat fields. The wheat fields were still green. Pretty flat in this part of Montana. A little rolling hills sometimes. Beautiful though. Waving grain fields. Stopped for lunch at historical site where Lewis and Clark ended their trip from Missouri River. Called Camp Disappointment. Got to Shelby by 4 p.m. Finally found campground after 2 tries. Camp called Lake Shell Park. Looks like it may have been a lake at one time. Grassy patch with a high bank all around. Fairly quiet except for a train now and then. We wrote postcards, 27, and then had supper. I took walk uphill where there are flags waving. Must have been a memorial at one time. Nothing there now, but 3 flags and a large rock. Cold tonight. Had to turn on heat. Played cards again, and guess what? Bill beat me again. I was leading until last hand, and he caught me with a bunch of cards. We never went to bed until midnight. We're looking over map. The wind quit. Thank goodness. Cloudy all day though. 8:25:93. Got off at 9:30. Drove across Montana, mostly flat. Some rolling hills, large fields of wheat and plowed fields. Later, smaller fields and not such rich-looking fields. We drove to Fort Peck and camped at Downstream Corps of Engineers campground. Lots of trees, lots of flies and mosquitoes too, but quiet place. We are next to Fort Peck Dam, one of the largest hydroelectric earth-filled dams in the world. Bill and I took a walk to Powerhouse. The dam is above and looks huge. Tomorrow we'll drive up on top. It is 350 foot above spillway. I got up at what I thought was 20 of 8. Got Bill up and later saw it was 25 of 8. So we were off 8:26:93 by 3 o'clock. Good start. Drove across Earthen Dam. It is long. Beautiful lake. Took pictures, but it was raining, so don't know if they will come out. Went back up to Route 2 and on to Rugby, North Dakota, where we got a camping spot called C&D Motel and Campground. The geographical center of North America is near here. Drove through rest of Montana, flat with wheat and plowed fields. Not harvesting since it rained. There are lots of crosses along road, which must mean where people died. Before we got out of Montana, there was a large, beautiful valley. North Dakota was flat and rolling. Wheat and plowed fields, stones piled up in gullies and along fences, sometimes in middle of fields. Oil wells near Tioga. At Ross saw lots of fields of sunflowers. In North Dakota, after we got out of wheat section, we saw lots and lots of round bales. Bill and I took showers and then had supper. Rugby is a very quiet town. Had a very pleasant day today. Left camp at 9 Central, 8/27/93. Started down Route 3 to see Geographical Center of North America. Saw a house being moved up the road. Asked man there about the GC site. He said it was back in Rugby, even though maps said it was 23 miles south. Went back, found it across from where we stayed, took pictures, then went to Pioneer Village and Museum. Didn't think it would be much, and ended up staying 3 hours. Fascinating. So much to see. Had info on tallest man in the world who was born near there, 8 foot 7 inches. Married woman, 5 foot 5 inches. Bought all his clothes special made. The village was very interesting. The buildings were brought in from other parts. There was so much to see, many antiques. We met some nice farm people there from Minnesota, also a couple from New Jersey. Left there about 1 o'clock and headed up 3 to the International Peace Gardens. Another fascinating and beautiful place. Very well kept. Beautiful flowers. Spent a couple hours there. Took lots of pictures. Have chimes which play every 15 minutes. 2 stone towers and an inspiring chapel. The chapel has quotations all around the inside. Brought tears to my eyes. Chapel of Peace it is called. We decided to stay in campground inside Peace Gardens. Only $6 per night. Very pretty. Have our own private spot amongst the tall birch trees. It was cloudy most of day, but sun finally came out. Up Route 3 was beautiful farmland and then into mountains. When we leave, we have to go through customs since their gardens are half in U.S. and half in Canada. One spot they have a U.S. flag in flowers and Canadian flag in flowers. Spent a nice quiet evening and night. 8/28/93. Up late. 9:30 Central. Time throws one off. Left the Peace Park at 10:30 after driving through Canadian side. Very wild. Stopped at Lodge and Ten Commandments store and pavilion sites in U.S. Park before leaving. Lodge or pavilions not open. Lodge built in 1932 by CCC. Not very large, but pretty. Took Route 33 to Route 5 East, then Route 85. Bill bought donuts, so we decided to find a rest area. Took 17 West, 10 miles. 18.5 to Route 2. Long drive to Route 2. Rest area there. Bill said it was the longest he'd ever gone for a cup of coffee. I'm glad I'm not dependent on coffee. Though my tummy was growling when we got there. On east on 2 until we got to Crookston, Minnesota. Looked for park but couldn't find it, so on to Erskine, where we saw a sign for RV park. A little expensive for nothing but a nicely shaded and next to small Cameron Lake. $10.60. I asked for a discount. Traveled through farmland today. Northeast North Dakota, which was very wet. They have had a lot of rain, huge puddles in fields, and running through wheat fields. Saw a stone with writing, rain, rain, go away. Saw many hawks on telephone poles. Got into sugar beet and potato country. Still wheat and sunflowers and grass land too. What's this say? Showers, coin operated. We skipped showers. Nice quiet night, except for trains going by. Doesn't bother me, but Bill hears everyone. 8:29:93. Up at 8:20 Central. Got Bill up. We got ready to leave. I called Darlene. Larry had left for field, so couldn't talk to him. Larry's tests at doctor came out fine, but cost a fortune. June won a recipe contest through their Foresters Insurance Company. She won $100. Cal's doing good. One had pink eye badly. She wouldn't open eye for shot. Today we drove Route 2 to Barrington, Minnesota, where we stopped in Target on Route 179 and food for less. Food very high. Sure will miss buys in California. Also visited large statue of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. Was along the Bemidji Lake. Took pictures but couldn't get in museum. Took Route 2 to Grand Rapids, where we picked up 38 North. Drive a long way to Scenic State Park. All through the mountains and trees today. Mountains certainly different than Rockies. Ha! Got to Scenic State Park and had a surprise. Had to buy a permit for vehicle which cost $18. Campground was $12.50 for electric. We signed up for 3 nights. Bill says showers are push button. Nice wooded camp, but far from lake and showers. Made supper and relaxed. Bill is always busy mapping out next day. 8:30:93. We had a thunderstorm in the night. I was up at 7 a.m. and took a shower. We got ready and left about 9:15 for International Falls to see the Boise Cascade paper mill. When we got there, we had missed the tour by 5 minutes, so we had coffee and donuts, and I went into a nearby drugstore to buy another dairy, as this one is getting filled up. I buy another diary, as this one is getting filled up. The tour through the paper mill was 1.25 hours long. Very interesting, but a lot of walking on stairs and cement. When it was over, we went to take pictures of Smokey the Bear, 26 foot, in the park, and then started back a different way. Took 2 hours to get back to camp, made a round circle, and drove 219 miles. After supper, I took a walk around the park. There is a boardwalk along the lake. Our new neighbors told us about it. Bill and I were disappointed because we drove through lots of wilderness but saw no birds or animals. 8:31:93, 45 degrees in AM. Had a delightful day. I got up at 6 or 7. read, and then walked down by lake as I heard a loon. Didn't see them on the lake, but saw one fly overhead. Also saw a kingfisher bird. We left for Hibbing and Chisholm at 9:30 a.m. About a 63-mile drive. Visited the Greyhound original bus museum in Hibbing. Very good. Then on to Hull Rust Mahoney Open Pit Mine. Nice visitor center. Interesting man there told us all about it. It's the biggest open pit mine. It is 3 miles long. Comprising of 30 mines. 2 miles wide and 600 feet deep. Didn't get to see them working because they've been on strike for weeks. It would have been fun to watch. Have the largest 2-axle truck in the world. KL 2450 Wisda mining truck. Cost $1,350,000. Payload 240 tons. That's 480,000 pounds. Length 44 feet. Width 24 feet. Height 22 feet. Tires 12 feet high. 40-inch wide tire cost $13,000 each. Must be something. Only saw scale model and picture. We also visited Minnesota Mining Museum. Very interesting. Lots of huge machinery outside to look at. An old lady took us around who has always lived in the area. Made it really interesting. 3 buildings loaded with memorabilia of mining. Got back to camp about 5:30. Cool tonight, but sunny all day. Having a problem with a back lower tooth. Must be cracked. Alright, I guess that's good for today in this one.